Welcome to edupediaworld.com. In this video, we will learn about good conductors and bad conductors of electricity. So as we have already learned how the electric current flows, what makes the electric current flow. So we should also talk about what are the objects that conduct electricity and what are the objects which do not conduct electricity. But before that, we need to first talk about how the electric current flows. We know that the flow of electric current is nothing but it is the movement of the charged particles, that is the negatively charged particles. But how exactly these negative charged particles are moving inside an atom? So this we're going to talk about first. So for this, let us first consider the basic structure of atom. And this is the basic structure of any element which is let's say a good conductor of electricity. In this there is a nucleus, and the nucleus is the centralmost part of any atom. And this nucleus is consist of protons as well as neutrons. So as I've talked earlier in the previous videos, that there are three kinds of charged particles. I said there are positively charged, then a few of the particles are negatively charged, and there are some particles which are neutral in charge. So the nucleus of an atom consists of protons and neutrons, and see, the protons are positively charged and neutrons are neutral in charge. So these two forms the nucleus of an atom. Now around this nucleus there are various orbits, as you can see, and in these orbits what exists here are the electrons. So these electrons are negatively charged particles. In the last, that is the outermost orbit, you see, in this case there is only one particle here, electron, which is in the final most orbit, that is the last orbit. This electron is generally loosely bounded to the atom because it is far from the nucleus. So what happens is this loosely bound electron tends to move, and it tends to get detached from the atom, and it moves to the other atom. So this is how the electrons are transferred from one atom onto the other atom, and this is how the electric current also flows. I will explain to you in a more clear format. See, this is one atom, and I said in one atom the nucleus is this, which consists of neutrons and the protons, right? And these are the orbits, and in this orbit you see this is the electron here, this is the outermost orbit, and you have one electron. Then you have another atom in which again you have one nucleus, and in the orbits you have electrons. This electron, it gets detached from this particular atom, it goes on, it moves, that is it is transferred onto the next atom. So the second atom is here. So this electron comes here, again it bounces and it moves to the third. So likewise these electrons keeps jumping from one atom onto other, then onto the third atom, and like so they travel. Now why is that so? Why is it that only this particular electron moves and not the rest of them? That is because this is a loosely bound electron, so it is easily transferred onto other atom, and this is the way that the electrons flow, and this makes the electric current flow, because flow of electrons is ultimately flow of electricity. And this is how the electric current flows. This is the flow of electricity. So now you understand. Initially in the previous video when I said that the flow of electric current is from the negatively charged terminal to the positively charged terminal, this is what I meant, that the free electron which is negatively charged will move like so. So that is how exactly the electric current flows, right? Now we also talked about high voltage and low voltage, and like high current and low current. So what do you mean by high current and low current? Low current is something when we have very less number of electrons flowing. If there are very few electrons flowing, then it will be a low current. Whereas if there are large number of electrons flowing, like in this case, then we say that the amount of the current flowing will be more. So it is very, very simple, right? So let us now talk about good conductors and bad conductors of electricity. So as we know that each object or each substance can be divided into two categories. Either they are good conductors or they are bad conductors, that is insulators. So first we should talk about what is conductivity. What is conductivity? Conductivity of an object is a measure of its ability to conduct electricity. So if there are objects which will allow the electricity to pass through them, then such objects are known as good conductors of electricity. However, some other object which does not allow electricity to pass through them, they are known as insulators, or we can say bad conductors, that is, they cannot conduct electricity. So each and every object can be divided into two categories, that is conductors and insulators. Of course, there are some objects which are semiconductors also, but now we're going to only talk about two major categories, that is conductors and insulators. So let us learn more about conductors and insulators. So let's first talk about conductors. So you have already seen similar kind of simple circuit in the previous video, wherein we have explained that how when the circuit is open, the electricity doesn't pass and the electrons don't flow, and that's how the bulb will not glow. But whenever this key is closed, then the circuit gets complete and the negatively charged particles will start flowing, and that's how the bulb will glow. But now, because we're going to talk about what conductors, we will learn about what are conductors, what is it to conduct electricity, and how will the conductors allow electricity. So that's why I have taken a metal drum here. So this is a battery, this is again a switch, this is a bulb, and this is a metal drum, and I connect these two ends onto this metal drum. So what happens when the switch is open, that is, the negatively charged electrons will not flow because the circuit is not complete, it is open. So the negatively charged electrons will not flow onto this, they will get stuck here, and because the circuit is not complete, the bulb will not glow. Now see what happens as soon as I close this key. When I close this key, what happens is the negatively charged electrons will find their way and they will pass through this drum, and immediately what happens is the circuit is complete. So they will flow from negatively charged end of the battery through this drum and again towards the positive end of the battery. So immediately, as soon as this circuit is complete, the bulb will start glowing. So this shows that the circuit is complete, and because the circuit is complete, that means even the negatively charged electrons are flowing through the drum. So the drum allows the electrons to pass through them. That means the drum is a good conductor of electricity, the metal drum. So okay, next let's see what happens in the other case. So metal drum conducts electricity. That's so we have confirmed. How have we confirmed? Because the bulb is glowing, because the electrons have passed through the drum and they complete the circuit. Now what happens in the case of insulator? In the case of insulator means this should be an object which will not allow the electricity to pass through it. So instead of taking a metal drum, in this case I have taken a plastic bottle, right? So again, this is a battery, this is my key which I will switch on and switch off, or I will open or close, and again this is a bulb, just to confirm whether the circuit is complete or not. If the circuit is not complete, the bulb will not glow. If the circuit is complete, then the bulb will glow. So in this case, when this key is open, so again the particles, the negatively charged electrons will not flow. Now what happens as soon as I close the key? If I close it, what happens? Now the circuit is complete. So ideally what should happen is that the negatively charged particle should flow through this, and because the circuit is complete, the bulb should glow. But in this case, what happens? What do we see? We see that the bulb is not glowing. That means if this key is closed, then there is something which is not letting the electrons pass from this negatively charged end through the circuit towards a positive. So what can that be? That is definitely because this plastic bottle. This plastic bottle will not allow the negatively charged electrons to pass through it. That means that a plastic bottle is a poor conductor of electricity because it is not allowing the electrons to flow through it. So what do we confirm? We have confirmed that a metal drum is a good conductor, but a plastic bottle is a poor conductor. Plastic bottle does not conduct electricity. So what are good conductors? Let's say again I have this battery. Again the bulb is here just to confirm whether it is a good conductor or a bad conductor. And then I have this metal. This is some kind of tester. But this end wherein I have connected my two wires, this is a metal. This is a metal portion. So a metal portion, what happens? Immediately the bulb glows. So the girl is confirming that now when the two ends are connected onto this metal, the bulb will glow. Okay, now tell me what will happen if these two ends of the wire, if the girl is connecting these two ends of the wire onto this rubber portion, it will not glow. That we will learn in the subsequent slides. So these are good conductors. What are the other good conductors? Let's say instead of this tester, we have a knife connected here. So knife is again a metal. So if we connect a knife, immediately the bulb will again glow. So that also shows that a knife is a good conductor of electricity. Various other examples of good conductors of electricity are graphite, silver, copper, iron, and metal clips. Anything, mostly metals, will be good conductors of electricity, and that can be confirmed by using this simple experiment, right? So now you must have seen wires in your house. So what happens is the wires generally will have a rubber coating over it, and if you cut this rubber coating, if you remove some slight amount of rubber coating, you will find that inside there will be copper wires. Either they are copper wires or iron. So why is that coating given? Is because in case the coating is not there, then if we touch these wires with our hand, we might get some kind of shock, because rubber is a bad conductor of electricity. So if we touch rubber, nothing will happen. But if there is no rubber, then if we touch this copper, then it will give us shock because it is a good conductor of electricity. That is why most of the wires are covered. Some bad conductors of electricity, the examples are like rubber band, glass, ceramic, plastic bottle, wool or wood. If we connect this wood in that simple circuit what we have learnt earlier, then the bulb will definitely not glow, because wood is also a very bad conductor of electricity. So these are few bad. So you should know what good conductors are and what bad conductors are, and also their examples. So insulators are bad conductors. That means they do not conduct electricity. Some other differences between good and bad conductors. If I take again the simple circuit, this is a battery, this is a bulb, and this is a key. A key can be anything. Instead of key, you can connect any metal object also. I have connected a simple key over here. So what happens? Because it is a key, it is a good conductor, so the bulb will glow. What do you mean by a good conductor? If it is a good conductor, it will be a poor resistor, because it cannot resist. It cannot resist the current which is flowing. On the other hand, let's say if I connect a pencil over here. So what is pencil? A pencil is a wood. It is made up of wood. So we have learned that a wood is a poor conductor. It is a bad conductor. So that is why this bulb will not glow, because the circuit is not complete. So a wood is a bad conductor, but it is a good resistor because it resists the flow of electrons to pass through the circuit, and that is why the bulb will not glow. Right? Now let's move ahead. Even human body is a very good conductor of electricity. In case, see, this boy is handling the iron box. Let's say if the wire, over the wire we have this rubber coating. Let's say if there is no rubber coating, what will happen? We will immediately get a shock, because the person is holding the wire with his hand, and our human body is a good conductor of electricity, so immediately we will get shocked. So we should be very, very careful that at our homes, especially the small children, should not be allowed to touch any wire which is lying naked, and he should not be even allowed to touch the the plug points, because they can give a heavy shock to the human body. So this also confirms that a human body is also a good conductor of electricity, right? So now let us also talk about major differences between conductors and insulators. Now that we have learned what is a good conductor, what is a good insulator, we should also be able to differentiate between the two. So a good conductor will allow electricity to pass through it, whereas insulator will not allow electricity to pass through it. Secondly, a good conductor, that is, its electrical resistance will be very, very low, because it cannot resist the flow of electrons. But in the case of insulators, the electrical resistance will be very high, because an insulator can resist the flow of electrons, right? Now tell me, if an object is a good conductor of electricity, generally what happens? There will be large number of electrons that is flowing through it, because ultimately what is the how does the current flows? It is nothing but it is the flow of electrons, which is the current. So if an object is a good conductor, that means there are large number of free electrons inside it. Large number of electrons are flowing. Whereas in the case of the insulator, the number of free electrons are very less, and that is why insulator is a very bad conductor, because the number of the free electrons that are flowing are very, very less in order to provide that electric current. Okay, finally, what are the examples of a good conductor? Mostly there are metals in this category like silver, copper and aluminium. Whereas in the case of insulator, it is wood, rubber, plastics. So these are the major differences between conductors and insulators. This is must know point for everyone. So now it is a small exercise for you. What type of material are good electrical conductors? Is aluminium a good conductor? Yes, aluminium is also a good conductor of electricity. How about rubber? Rubber, we have learnt earlier, rubber is a poor conductor of electricity. How about wood? Again, wood is also a poor conductor. It is an insulator. So we have learnt about what are conductors, what are good conductors, what are insulators. In the next class, we will talk about electroplating and galvanization. So thank you for watching Edupedia World videos.